My name is Shimon Ohayon. I'm the director of the Dahan Center at Bar-Ilan University. Good morning and welcome to the International Conference on the End of Jewish Communal Life in the Arab Lands. This conference is organized in collaboration with the Dahan Center at Bar-Ilan University, the Yeshiva University Center for Israeli Studies, the American Sephardic Federation, the Sephardic Heritage Project, and with the great support and cooperation of Israel's Foreign Ministry and Social Equity Ministry and the World Zionist Organization. Dear Mr. Dani Dayan, the Israeli Consul in New York, dear Ms. Ellie Cohanim, Deputy Special Envoy to monitor and combat anti-Semitism from the U.S. State Department, dear Professor Stephen Fine, Professor of Jewish Studies and History, Mr. Jason Guberman, Executive Director of the ASF, American Sephardic Federation, distinguished lecturers, students from the Yeshiva University, students from different high schools here in New York, participants of the Jewish community, and, of course, friends of the Dahan Center and the American Sephardic Federation. This is not the first time that Bar-Ilan University is working together on a conference on the Jewish people from Arab lands. Yet, unfortunately, not everyone in the Jewish community are familiar with the history of the Jewish communities in Arab countries. There is very little knowledge on their unique culture and their special values that were developed in their communities. One of the struggles in the education system in the State of Israel is to change the curriculum that until recently excluded many important parts of Jewish history and culture. At the Dahan Center, our main goal is to advance research which can explore and expose many unknown facts about the communal life of these communities and their contribution to the Jewish heritage and creative culture. There is no doubt that this conference will lead us to additional conferences which will deepen the knowledge of these communities. We already received requests from different institutions to be in touch in order to give them updated information on new research about the Jews in Arab countries. Today, in our conference, we are going to listen to lecturers about diverse communities in the Arab lands. The main question is not what is unique about these communities in terms of communal life, social and spiritual leadership, creative culture, and the communication to Jewish people as a whole. Rather, what happened? What happened to these communities that disappeared in 20 to 25 years? These communities continued for 2,000 years and ended in a short period of time. The other question is, how did this happen? If recently, in the colonial time, the Jews were able to live comfortably in their communities, both from an educational and economic aspect. This is a question that will be in the center of our discussion today when we are talking about the end of the communal Jewish life in the Arab lands. I have no doubt that this conference, as well as additional conferences in the world, and specifically Israel, will really contribute to the exposure of the cultural assets and special social values that were developed in these countries. Specifically, the issue of coping with modern life while preserving the homogeneity of the community. This is in contrast to the many denominations that exist in the Ashkenazi community, such as Haredi, Hasidi, Orthodox, Conservative, and Reform. The rich culture and experience of these communities was hidden and was not talked about in the educational curriculum. This caused feeling of alienation and lack of belonging in Jews from Arab countries in general and specifically in Israel. Telling their whole story and describing the culture of Jews from these communities, as well as dealing with the question of what caused the end of Jewish communal life, will give us an answer to the hard question that we are asking. Additionally, it will give an explanation to the Jewish youth about of the important issues that are on the mind of the Jewish community all over the world. For example, religion and society, Jewish identity, Jewish education, and political issues, such as the Arab and Jewish conflict that existed in Israel even before 1948, when Israel became a state. In conclusion, I would like to thank all the participants in this conference. Thank you to the Yeshiva University Center for Israel Studies and Professor Stephen Fine. Thank you to the American Sephardi Federation, and especially to Jason Guberman, the General Director of the organization. A special thank you to the World Zionist Organization, to Mr. Avraham Duvdevani, the Chairman, the Israel Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and especially I would like to mention a few names that I work with in Israel in the Foreign Ministry, Mr. Akiva Tor and Hamutal Rogel, who helped us in many occasions. And of course, thank you to the Minister of Social Equity, to the Minister, Mrs. Gila Gamliel, and her General Director, Avi Cohen. Thank you to Sarina Rofe from the Sephardic Heritage Project. A special thank you to Dr. Drora Arusi. I think she deserves also for her tremendous logistical help in organizing this conference. Last but not least, thank you to our beloved staff at the Dahan Center, Mrs. Ora Kovalkovsky and Ayelet Chazan. I wish us all an enjoyable and successful conference. Thank you.